So I just mentioned about the environmental law, under law number 32 2009 VDA, and why I think it is considered first to read those law, because it contain a basic phrases for knowing about environmental law issues and some relevant phrases. What is the prevention? What is the human environment? What is environmental impact assessment? What is the law enforcement in environmental law? And you may now go to the Article 1 of environmental law, and you will recognize some basic phrases or terms knowing about this issue. For example, what is the meaning of sustainable development? It says that sustainable development is like plan and aware effort to combine environment with social and economic impact into development strategy. Why it is important? Because it will balance the integrity of human environment with the safety, with the carrying capacity, the prosperity, and the quality of life, not just for current generation but also for the future generation. And this is quite important things to consider, and why in the last meeting I said that in my position I'm already in the good one, but if something happen with Indonesia right now, especially if the damage of environment get massive, the next generation will get the impact. You can imagine how our natural resources, our mining, our gold, nickel, and any other minerals, are need to be managed properly, because those are the wealth of Indonesia and should be also for all generation of Indonesia, not just current generation, not just particular group of people, group of businessmen, group of oligarchy, for example. Why I stress this point? Because you may know from the news how we exploit our natural resources without consideration. Sometimes it is definitely neglect the environmental, just want to pursue the economic benefit, and then not or ignore the future generation. Because now I'm in the high position, for example, okay, I have authority, then why don't we try to exploit as many as possible? I don't care with the future generation. That's the some perspective from the decision maker in Indonesia. Okay, another I think I don't mention all the phrases, but another important material is about the ecosystem. What does it mean of ecosystem? You may hear these phrases many times. Ecosystem. And this law mentioned that this is one of the element of human environment. They build in one integrity. They can mutually influence. Create a balance, stability, and the productivity of human environment. So this is part of our ecosystem. Why then, for example, in Bali, we have to manage, like the latest issue is about the rubbish, and you have to what I can call it, like to divide which one is organic, which one unorganic, which one the residue, and etc. So yeah, I think this is too late, but famous old saying that it is better too late than never. Yeah, but yeah, in some countries, developed country, for example, they start to doing this. I think since the last 1970 something. Yeah, it is normal to any household to do this practice. And if you ever go to another country like in Singapore, they have a better management on this issue. So it's not supposed to be an issue. Yeah, because if we plan it better, if we think about ecosystem, yeah, if we think about future generation, yeah. So that's about the ecosystem meaning. Another important phrase is carrying capacity or daya dukung lingkungan hidup. Yeah. So yeah, this is also quite interesting to talk, because sometimes we don't care about our carrying capacity, especially if we just thinking about economic, just thinking about tourism, just thinking about attracting more and more foreign tourists. Yeah. So the law said that this is about how the human environment, yeah, they have their own ability, yeah, to support human life, other living resources, and the balance between them. So yeah, that's why one of the sign of carrying capacity is when we see every district or every region in Bali. Yeah, we have eight region and one city. They have their own like plan. Yeah, we call it like a special plan. Yeah, and every plan should, yeah, it is like a kind of map. In the map you can check, which one the green area, yeah, conservation area, for example. In that area is not supposed to be built any commercial. Which one for commercial, yeah, or they call it utilization. Yeah. So in this area, it can be built for commercial activities. But yeah, there must be any separation between. Yeah, not all commercial activity in the same sector put in the same areas, because again this is about the carrying capacity. You can imagine if all the manufacturer places in one region, yeah, and then the rubbish, and then the pollution, for example, and then another important factor, it has to be separated from the household families. Yeah, if you see, yeah, or if you are now living in the home but your neighbor has a business, then it's going to be a problem. Yeah, a business and then household, yeah, is supposed to be separated. Yeah, you can imagine if your neighbor open a business for gas, for example, LPG. Do you think it is not dangerous? Yeah, yeah. And or maybe if your neighbor open a kind of like culinary, and then in the kitchen area is so crowded and noisy. Yeah? Yeah, because usually the culinary business will start working around 2 or even 3 a.m. in the morning. Don't you think that's becoming a problem on that? Yeah. So everything has to be planned. Everything has to be put in the right way, in the right place, and managed by the right people. Yeah. 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 So that's about the carrying capacity. Yeah. Every environment, every area, every region, every the small community, yeah, should have that plan. Yeah. Now we have some problem, especially in tourism, when we build so many hotels, not just hotels, villa, and define accommodation. And define accommodation meaning that they don't want to be considered as hotel, but they serve consumer and treat them like a hotel guest. Yeah, it's like maybe if you're familiar with Airbnb, for example. Yeah. So we are now in the situation where hotels, villa, yeah, are so many in numbers, yeah, and sometimes the location is not follow what has already planned. Yeah, that's why you can check many hotels built very close to the river, very close to the beach. Yeah, how if it's landslide, how if it's tsunami, or even very close to the holy place like a temple. Yeah. So can you imagine if we are praying and then we hear the hotel guest with inappropriate outfit, then see you? That's the common situation that happen in our area. Yeah. And about carrying capacity is about transportation. Yeah, we don't have proper transportation to serve our tourists, and we rely on private car. Yeah, and yeah. No matter how often you build a new road in Bali, if we don't encourage people to use public transport, then everything is useless. Yeah, because the road capacity and then the private vehicle is not balanced. Yeah, we also invite some Indonesian traveler bring their own car here. Yeah, and yeah, our road is like we can name, we can calculate, we can count how many roads are in Bali. Yeah, and then you can analyze the vehicle that around this area. If you experience about the traffic jam, yeah, that's a predictable situation. That's predictable. Yeah, if the road is less road, more cars, yeah, that's going to be predictable. And traffic jam is the consequences. This is predictable, but why don't we try to solve the solution? This is something predictable, different than unpredictable, like tsunami, for example, like landslide. Yeah, we just try to prevent the bad impact from those natural disaster. Yeah, because we can guess, we can predict when the tsunami or when the earthquake, for example, are happen. But something predictable, it has to be any prevention, any laws, any movement, to arrange to make everything in a better situation. But it's not, because we don't think about carrying capacity. Ya, daya dukung lingkungan hidup, and this already mentioned in our law. Okay, what else to? Okay, another important phrase, I think AMDAL, yeah, in 11, in section 11, when talking about uh, environmental impact assessment, yeah, this is a kind of like a prevention measure, yeah. If you want to build a business, yeah, and every business, yeah, should report, yeah, should analyze how how impactful of their business to the environment, yeah. And the government provide any kind of like SOP, standard operating procedure, yeah. So okay, if you want to build a hotel in this area, then you have to, yeah, to measure how impactful, yeah, how bad, yeah, maybe, and that's the worst scenario is if the environment get damaged or get polluted because of the new hotel or the new villa. Yeah, that's the important one of the example of environmental impact assessment. And yeah, you can check how the rule says, yeah, in article or in the section 11. It is mentioned that AMDAL is a research, important research about a business or activity that has already planned, yeah, in human environment, that is required for making decision about, yeah, about business or activity. That's the normative, yeah. I will introduce you to the normative through the how the rules say, but the example is like, yeah, if you want to build something, yeah, especially like a business that potentially create negative impact, like mining, for example, yeah, if you want to have or explore some gold in some new area, for example, then you do like a project, yeah, you have to bring heavy equipment, yeah, like a tractor, like the what I should call the one that bring the very heavy material, and yeah, the transportation of those equipment from airport to the situation or to to the area require some treatment, yeah. And how it is impact the people nearby, yeah. If we stay here and then 1 kilos from here there are some gold project, for example, with heavy and sophisticated equipment, yeah. And if we take out some gold from the earth, what is the impact for the environment, yeah. Is it it is not create some situation that can attract landslide, for example, if you dig dig out in a very huge number, yeah, that's the simple one, yeah. Of course the environmentalists can analyze, yeah, the how then it will impact to the water in our house, for example, yeah, especially if we use like what I should call a drill water or sumur bor, drill, yeah, sumur bor, in English sumur bor, and then it will contaminate your water, yeah. That's the thing that need to be considered, and if kind of business want to run or start operating, then yeah, they have to pass the AMDAL, yeah. But again, AMDAL becoming at the point of negotiation, to be frank, because you can see some business sector that's supposed to have AMDAL, but they don't. They pass AMDAL, but the AMDAL is abal-abal. Or is not properly conducted, or is the one that have authority to issue AMDAL is get a character issue like bribery, like corruption, and etc. So you can check from the news how can a place like Raja Ampat, Raja Ampat is built mining, for example. How can a tourism destination, a famous tourism destination, is designed to be a tourist destination, but in another area there are mining project. So we have to be suspicious. Maybe it is legal, but why there is some difference between what's supposed in the plan and what actually happened on the field. Okay, I think just the introduction. You can read all this material or basic phrases, because before we talk about environmental law in general, so you have to be familiar and you have to be understand about the basic phrases that really often coming up in the discussion of environmental law, like AMDAL, like carrying capacity, etc. Do you have any question, Santika and Vidya?